Hey there, this is Matt. We are at part 6 of the SEO Exciter series, and this is going to be the last video that I'm going to talk a little bit about the on-page SEO strategies. And then we're going to start talking a little bit more about the off-page stuff, as well as a little bit more about social marketing and SEO. But the only thing I want to kind of cover a little bit in this video is the fact that we were talking a little bit about spiders in the last engine, about how the way that SEO works is that you're going to have major search engines like Google or Yahoo, and they're going to send electronically visitors to your website. And those visitors are going to go and they're going to strip away a lot of stuff on your website. Now, the only thing that it's going to really be able to determine are really things that are in your text. Now, you got to understand this, and you got to think about it a little bit more on the way that that's structured. So if you have like images on your website, remember that Google is not going to know what's on that image. It's going to know that there is an image there. It's going to know its name. And then there's things, for example, if you were to go in, and again, I'm getting technical on you, I'm sorry, but I'm sure that you've heard of the term in some of your content management systems, things like alt text. And if I have an image on this alt that I have, what I want to do is I want to be sure to identify some type of alternative text. And here's why. So here is this is how you would code it. IMG, SRC, and this is kind of the file name, whatever file name, .jpeg. But you want to make sure that we also add this alt equals, and maybe in this case I'm going to call it Stompernet review image. Now, what actually happens here, and why this was created, was the fact that if a search engine or browser cannot find the file that you have, this is what you want to be printed there instead. But the search engines and the search bots are going to use this information a little bit differently. It's going to use this information for relevancy to the page as text that could appear on that page. So you see what I'm kind of getting at here is that this is another great place for you to put keywords in your LSI type of keywords into that even the public's not even going to see. Using things on like your link bar that are full images, you're playing a little bit of a risky game here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when it comes to off-page SEO and anchor text. But again, use images as little as possible, and if you do use images, be sure that you're going to include this alt type of text there. Now, a few of the other things that you want to keep in mind too is that Google can't read things like JavaScript. So if you have any weird little banners or weird text things that are written on your page that are in the form, and you can go and look at the source of your page that have the word script in it, in a tab here and something else here, it cannot read what's going on with this script that you've included on that page. So some of the old-fashioned content management systems use things like JavaScript to write a lot of the content on the page. And that from an SEO standpoint is complete disaster. So you want to keep it basic. The more text that's on your page, the more that the search engines are going to find, and everything that is in that text that a viewer can be able to see, Google's going to know it, and that's a very important thing. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about these search engines when they're coming out is how often are they going to come out? Why are they going to come out? This is going to be something that we're going to talk a little bit more about when we talk about off-page, because we want Google to find our website, but once they find it, we want to give them a reason to continue coming back. And one of the main reasons why I always suggest for people who are just starting off to start a blog, because a blog is a way to not only generate content easily and get a website up, but you can start writing it almost instantaneously, and you can start building on it incrementally. And if Google starts noticing that you're writing in it 3 times a day or 3 times a week or 3 times a month, it's going to start to recognize that, and it's going to record that pattern, and it's going to start visiting your site more often. So the more that you write in it and the more that Google realizes this, the more that they're going to go back. There are websites out there like, let's talk about like Digg.com, which is a social bookmarking site. I hear that Google is on Digg.com, thousands of times, probably even more, per day, just to kind of find out what's going on, because it's just so dynamic and it's changing on a minute-by-minute basis. Whereas maybe my blog that I post in maybe 3 to 4 times a week, it will come and visit about once a week right now. But it took some time for it to even go once a week. And remember, the internet's an extremely big place, and Google needs to determine where it wants to put its resources and which places it wants to go. So if you're not producing new content, fresh content, consistent content, the search engines are not going to come to your website very often. If they're not coming, then they're not going to be able to index you. If you're not indexed, you're not going to be in the search engines. Okay? I'm going to continue on in a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit more about off-page optimization. Take it easy. You can watch all 10 SEO videos, including downloadable transcriptions for this entire training series right now for free by going to SEOexciter.com.